Live on YouTube, it's the Chromaniacs Postgame show as SDFC tames the Rapids, gets out the oars, gets the big old raft, successfully navigates their journey to victory today. 3 points, 3 goals, 3-0. That's your final score tonight from Snapdragon Stadium. We're back at our Chromaniacs studios. I'm Craig Elston, joined by Alex Pena. Tony Sanchez is down in the mixed zone at Snapdragon Stadium. He'll be joining us within minutes, probably by the bottom of the hour, as we come to you at close to 10:30 on a Saturday night to talk all things SDFC. Great to have you in the live YouTube audience. Right off the top, you can hit that thumbs up button. Make sure, if you're not, to subscribe to the channel, SanDiego.Futbol. Hit the notifications bell so that you know every time we go live. With shows like this, I would suspect the next time, Alex, it'll be for Chuki Bowl 2026, Leg 1, and a lot of excitement. I'm already thinking about next week's game. You know why? Because SDFC took care of business tonight. They took care of business. They made this one so calm, so soothing, calming, upset hearts, upset stomachs all throughout San Diego, that it allowed me to let my mind drift to future matches.
Yeah, that's right. And I was one of those people, just feeling a little bit better now that watching the San Diego FC score those 3 goals, and did it pretty easily against the Colorado Rapids, who, as we previewed, they do not have a good road record. They do not play well on the road. They really, if they get scored on early, they kind of falter, and that's pretty much the game for them. They haven't really came back from any of those positions before being down a goal. So getting one early in the first half was really pretty critical. And then they kept adding on. They added 2 in the first half, and then they had another one in the second half, and that was your game, and rightly so. I think San Diego FC was just a far better team here, and they took advantage of any mistakes, and you got to see it. You got to see a Valakari goal, a Churi goal, and even another Pirani goal, who's really coming to his own in that midfield. So exciting times here at San Diego FC.
There's certainly a lot to talk about from this match, and we'll talk about it all. And when Tony shows up, we'll have some post-match sound for you as well. But were I to give out a Chromaniacs man of the match, I would agree with what Apple TV did and give it to Gabriel Pirani, because to me, he's a young man who's making a difference for this team. I thought, and when Tony gets here, we can talk about it more, but I thought there were some very interesting lineup decisions for Mikey Varas today, and he went with a 2/3 old recipe in the midfield, saying, all right, we've got Tverskov, we've got Anibal Godoy, but we're going to stick with Pirani. We like what we're seeing from Pirani, and I think you have to say he is adding a little bit of offensive spice to a midfield that had been very defensive, very workmanlike, very much moving the ball, but not necessarily creating a lot, just hoping for that front 3 to generate the offense. Now Pirani has a nose for goal. He has his head up in critical situations, and I thought he was just really, really important to what this club put together tonight.
Yeah, that's right. And I think they saw enough from the Portland Timbers match to put him back out there against the Rapids in a consecutive start. And he looked good. He really knows how to carry the ball, dribble the ball into the final third, and really create chances for other people. And I think that's kind of what it's been. Yeah, that's like the player that's been missing in that midfield, that someone that can create and dribble the ball and really handle himself in the final third. And it's good to see Pirani stepping up into that role. And something something a little bit of a throwback. You're talking about Yepet Verskov and Godoy out there. Uh, Seeing Ani Valakari as a false nine was that was to the early days of like the very first few matches of San UFC. I was like, I thought we were never gonna see that again. Seeing Valakari out there, and you know what? He actually did something. He scored a goal for himself, and put the San Diego FC up early in the 1-0 against the Rapids.
Well, certainly that was even more interesting than the decision to go back to the old heads in the midfield. And of course, Alvarado has had opportunities. Vasquez has had opportunities to grab the horns of that attacking, dynamic, creative midfielder position. And really, it's been Pirani who has started to establish himself there. We are now joined live, and for those on the podcast, you can't see it. Those on YouTube can see it. Tony Sanchez joining us from Snapdragon Stadium, up from the mix zone, complete with post-match sound that he'll be sharing with us and the audience continuing forward. But Tony, we just had talked about getting into the lineup and the Pirani decision, but then Alex brought it up. Oni Valakari starting at the 9, and the thought I had on that, and I'm really curious. I'm sure you've got some confirmation from downstairs, but I felt like that was a very defensive decision for the Croman Azul to have Ashuri, to have Dreyer, two offensive initiators on each wing, but we need somebody in the right to dream system to press. We need somebody that's going to kind of run around and create the havoc and not necessarily be looking for goals, but looking for spacing. And Valakari maybe fit those bills. Now, obviously, he scored the first goal. We'll get to that. That was an error by Colorado. But what were your thoughts, not only when you saw the decision, Tony, but also when you saw how it all played out?
Yeah, well, first of all, I did hear just that there may have been something in terms of fitness that with Marcus and Varson coming into this game, and so that also had some things to go about, and then kind of confirmed with the way that he ended his matchup today. Still getting an assist, but not getting to start. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, Alex. I was listening, just like SDFC classic, right? Like you got some Oni Valakari, which actually he is the only player to have played every single, I believe, MLS San Diego FC game ever. It used to be Honors Dreyer, but now with him missing because of a red card last game, that now leaves only Oni Valakari. So that's just to tell you how much Mikey Varas and company value him as a player. And you've played him in three different positions in the last couple games. So, yeah, sometimes he's a frustrating player, but you can tell he's invaluable to this team. And so I was kind of joking with some people in the press box when he scored his goal. It's like Marcus and Varson would have passed that. He would have passed that back instead of taking a shot. And so maybe that's the different layers that you're asking of his players. But, it's unfortunate that you do lose Marcus and Varson for the foreseeable future because it just seemed like SDFC had so many different attacks and options up in the front three, and just we're kind of getting to the combination of things. But with Marcus out, it's just one of these things where I think they're still in a good place. But Pirani, man, like he's definitely that player that adds that X factor, and him and Ashuri are getting along, man.
Well, that's
Well,
interesting.
yeah, let me just follow up because you talked about it. Marcus Ingvartsen subbed into this match late, had the assist on the Pirani goal, but also went down late in the game. What is being discussed downstairs in terms of the immediate future of Marcus Ingvartsen?
Yeah, it was Mikey Vadas just said it's it's unfortunate. There's not a lot of word on what it is, but it just clearly looked like that hamstring it's just bothered him, and it was a non-contact injury, and he knew it going down, and even having a very, very hard time hobbling back in directly into the locker room. So we've seen kind of where he's been struggling with those things, and Mikey Vadas just said you just have to feel for the guy, and I think that just kind of cements that it is something that's going to keep him out, and probably out for the next couple of games.
Yeah. It kind of seemed like it was a serious injury when he came out. It was just slow getting down to the sideline and out, kind of like out the way, and that's really too bad. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh man!" I think it did look like it might be weeks of him missing, and maybe hopefully it's not months, but that's a pretty huge blow to this attack, and that just means, yeah, you got Balakari playing a false nine, or you got Morgan up there, who's probably going to need to step up in instead of in Barton there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously something we could talk about on Thursday as to whether it should be Morgan, whether it should be Valakari again. I'd be perfectly happy, given the result tonight, to see the lineup essentially duplicated against Galaxy. But that's a talk for another day. Let's dig more into this match, guys. And um, I was really happy for the Pirani goal because other than that, I was probably thinking about halfway through this game about coming on here and talking about how sometimes it's not as important to be dominant as it just is to be accepting of the mistakes of others, and that, matches show up in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. And this one for me, and we'll get Tony right back here, Alex, but this one for me was a match of opportunism. Colorado made critical, goal critical mistakes twice within a 7-minute period of time. Valakari's goal is absolutely just a duff by the Rapids, a ball sent to the center back that goes through his legs, and he goes, oh. And the next thing you know, there's Valakari, one touch and a goal. And honestly, for a Shuri as well, that ball is supposed to be cleared. It's supposed to be deflected. It's supposed to be knocked out. And instead, it just spits right to him in front of the net, and he does what you're supposed to do. So, it's no knocking SDFC for getting those goals. Those goals are critically important, but neither one of them were developed through this incredible build up and 30 pass sequence like we've seen from, so many other SDFC goals. These were errors by Colorado that, and right there you can even see the goalkeeper like, yeah, let me pick you up, son. That was a little bit of a whoopsie. Oh no. I mean, those are two tragic touches in the back line, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's in for like that first one. It was all due because SanDiego FC likes to press. They both do. Both teams like to press, and we kind of saw a little bit of that on the other side. And this time, that pressure came into Holding, and he just couldn't handle it. He just thought that he was going to make some sort of fancy move, and the ball got away from him a little bit too far, and Balakari was there to knock it in. Uh, and then you're just playing with numbers on that second goal where, everybody's up front, everyone's going for the attack into the penalty area, and yeah, one wrong move, it goes to the it goes to the right person, it goes to Churi, and he knocks that one in too. And yeah, it's still based on their style and how they want to play. It just not like you said, Craig, not exactly how you expect it. When you're supposed to think like, yeah, they're gonna build from the back and build, have 20 plus passes on this run, and then eventually they'll get a ball in. But I did like that Valakari was pressuring and providing that press up front, and I, you know, it's a little bit different with him up there, and that's probably why we saw him, play that false nine so many times last year. To as many times as I got mad at it, I can see why he was up there, right, Tony.
Yeah, and definitely like it's now going into a part of the season where SanDiego FC is getting that health. So you're starting to get players back. You're starting to get different layers into it, and you have two stars that are now starters and get their first starts. Shuri was talking about like he doesn't remember the last time he played 60 minutes was, and so it's kind of going into this space, into this time where SDFC really has to capitalize on the elements that they have. We were talking about it last week or last Thursday, like who is missing or who should come in or what kind of player. And again, I think the team right now is capable of a playoff run. If they keep playing like this, they can go ahead and move into those spaces. But we saw last time they played like this, they had a dip in form in Portland, and so you can't do that. The rest of the home games that you have are not as easy per se as tonight, and so you're really going to have to battle in those times, and it's going to be a challenge. But I think if they can keep this degree of pedal to the metal, they can definitely make that playoff and even get better and make some noise in a couple rounds. But again, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. There's a lot of season left.
Yeah, let's not go Mr. Wolf and each other just yet. At this point, there's still a lot of work for STFC to do, and they're not in a playoff position yet. This was a critical 3 points, though. I mean, I harped on it honestly ad nauseum on Thursday's show. Like they had to win this game. They need to stack some dubs. The Galaxy match coming up is I just really think going to be a defining match for this season. I think at this point you can say it's the match of the year, and it's really not close because of the self-imposed drama, because of the movement of Chucky FC up to Galaxy, because of the fact that Galaxy is one of the teams you have to beat to get to the playoffs, and you're going to face them twice down the stretch. But this is the one here. This is the one that Chuky's going to be amped up for more than anyone. So look, we're going to talk about it all week. All right. Hey, getting these 3 points, we get to talk about it all week. We get to be excited about it all week because SDFC has a chance to make a real statement and beat the Galaxy on Saturday and show that their decision was the correct one. Let me pass this ball across the net to you, fellas. What are your thoughts on Murphy displacing McVeigh at center back? And Tony, let me just start with you. Is there anything that you're hearing in terms of Chris is a little banged up? This is an injury-related situation. This is a work management, workload-related situation. Or has Murphy taken a step toward claiming this job?
Well, if you kind of do the math of just the way that SanDiego FC at the beginning of the season had the vision of this defense being is, at this point, you were going to introduce a bruiser of a center back in Andres Reyes. That didn't pan out. And so,
sorry, you make me laugh every time you bring him up. But
instead, you have Ian Murphy, who has that edge, who brings that physicality. He's a different side of a center back, the different side of the coin of Manu Dua, where Manu Dua can't necessarily get physical in a way of he's not necessarily has the tact of a center back because he's not a natural center back to have that physicality and commit those fouls and be rough and tough, where Ian Murphy's just natural at that. And so that frees Dua to be a little bit more creative, and he doesn't have to carry a lot of the physical load on that defense. For McVeigh, I did see that he was a little bit pulled back in this last training, so maybe it's not A, not B, but C, it's both. But Ian Murphy's been doing a fantastic job here, and I really think that if you have Ian Murphy as that center back next to Manu Dua, then that opens up McVeigh to then help you out in different ways. You've seen him play right back. You've seen him be able to come in to close games at the end and close games and add that extra defensive layer and experience as well. So I think moving forward, it just seems like Ian Murphy has his solid spot starter right there next to Manu Dua, and it's been working. And just credit to him to be able to bounce back, because obviously his first match was against his former team, Colorado Rapids, away. Didn't have a great showing, if not had a pretty bad showing in that match, but he's able to bounce back and just be a part of the team where it's almost like, well, he's just another cog in the wheel of the machine. Like, it almost seems like the individuality just kind of goes into the back seat, because then the chemistry, the team style of play takes the forefront, and he's just like, oh, it's Ian Murphy. Oh, it's the SDFC defense. That's just who it is. Just becomes homogenized from there on.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you, Tony, with him being a spot starter. When San Diego FC had Patty McNair, we would still see him out there. Maybe get a start here or there, or come in late in matches. Like the one I remember was when he played against LAFC and almost killed David Martinez. But yeah, I think having that other veteran presence in the fold is critical. It's like you don't need to change your whole formation and go like three center backs. You could just kind of plug and play and pick and choose when you need them. Uh, so I think that's really good because you looked at the options they had before. Yeah, it was Oswald Sue and Ian Pilcher, and yeah, they're still pretty young. They're a little bit undersized compared to everybody else in the league. Like like Ian Murphy's a grown man, like getting minutes there. Like it's just a whole nother level of physicality. So yeah, I like it. I like the rotation that they're doing, and yeah, it could be anybody. It just you can depending on the day, depending on who you're facing, you can now put a formation out there that's like, oh, if I want McVay out there for a certain thing, maybe push the ball up a little bit more. It's McVay's turn, or it's like I need a little bit more of a defensive center back. Then you put Murphy in there. So it's yeah, I kind of like it. Finally have that veteran presence out there that we expected Reyes to be.
uh, and sometimes I do feel like I'm one of my jobs on the show is just to be the purveyor of the obvious, but I think it is obvious that this team is a very different team when Luca Bambino is on the floor. And Oscar Verhoeven, to his credit, who had a shaky hold on right back, has started to take much greater hold of that right back position. The team did not miss Thorhalson not being in the starting lineup today. In fact, they probably did well not to have his kind of frenetic activity at right back. But guys, Bombino being healthy enough, and obviously they rotated him on Wednesday. They're not trying to burn him for 270 minutes in 8 days. But boy, what a difference it makes when he is starting for this team. I just feel like they are a completely different squad.
Yeah, he's much more aggressive. He led the game in tackles with 8, and then ground duels. He won 11 of those today, and it's just a different team when he's out there. And Sargent was listed on the injured list, so he was never going to be an option for any minutes today. So yeah, you pretty much had Bombino out there, or it was going to be some, maybe Pilcher, maybe somebody else. But I also think when it comes to you mentioned Verhoeven, it kind of seems like he has leveled up his game a little bit since Thorhausen joined, because now with a little bit more competition, like yeah, Verhoeven's like value just skyrocketed, and now he's looking like a little bit better than he was before Thorhausen joined. So yeah, maybe the level of competition on amongst the team has just got him to be a little bit better because yeah, now it's like, okay, Thorhausen's a good option, but I kind of want to see him a little bit more of Verhoeven if he's going to play like this.
Yeah, and for Verhoeven, it was a player that has all the qualities and the ceiling is very high. But for him, it was a matter of matching the physicality with the IQ, making his body do what he knows he needs to do, but it just wasn't there. And that's just what you get with a young player, right? You're asking these players to go a full 90 sometimes where they're not necessarily playing at this level so many minutes, and it takes a toll. But it's kind of, again, one of those things where, much like new players coming in and unfolding and unpacking, the young players, that's their development. That's them literally blossoming into their fullest potential, and we're seeing Verhoeven be one of those. There's a reason why a lot of San Jose fans were not happy when Verhoeven joined down here, in the same way that LAFC fans weren't a fan of Bombino joining San Diego FC when they did.
Mhm.
Well, guys, looking around match day 22, I think it's just worth noting Galaxy drew on the road at Montreal 2-2. Uh, Portland was leading at BMO Stadium until late, and LAFC came up with an equalizer and drew 1 point out of that game with a 1-1 result. And Minnesota went to San Jose and just clubbed the suddenly flailing Earthquakes by a 5-1 score. So add it all up. San Diego moves to 27 points. They move past Galaxy, who only got one to get to 26. They are in 11th, and they are 1 point behind Minnesota, Portland, Salt Lake, and Colorado, who are all sitting on 28. So while you are in 11th, you're 1 win from 7th. At this point, you're 2 wins from 5th at this point in the MLS Western Conference. So I think, we kind of vacillate as the team vacillates from wins to losses in terms of our optimism or our determination for this club. I still believe they need to win 3 games in a row at some point along the way. This is one. So let's get 2 against Galaxy next week. But you can really see the opportunity. You can see the opportunity for failure because there's so many teams swirling around the same drain. But you also see the opportunity with a determined action forward for SDFC guys to really get in the clear and get into a much more comfortable position if they can continue to push these results forward.
Yeah, they just got to keep winning, getting results. I got to do the math. I'm going to do it one of these days. If they continue winning on the road, is it just getting points on the road? Will that just a point on the road, is that going to be enough to make the playoffs? Because some of these teams like Seattle got their first point in like 8 matches today. Say Houston went down against St. Louis, and St. Louis is they're doing okay, but they're also being depleted as a team. They're having players being taken out and going to other teams now. So I don't know how long that's going to be sustainable. But the other thing about MLS is like good teams will advance. And what I mean by that is if you have a positive goal differential, you should be able to make the playoffs. And that's the one thing that San Diego FC has. The only time in like the last few years that that wasn't true in the Western Conference was I believe 2022, and it's only happened once in the last like few years. So if you're a good team with a positive goal differential, you should be able to make the playoffs. So it's just getting, just collecting the wins, collecting the points in the next few weeks, and hopefully that it's not as close as it seems like right now, because right now it's just a jumble of teams in that final 8, 9, 10th, 11th place, right? When it comes to the final spots for the playoffs right now.
It's going to come down to finishing games, and that's what they've been able to kind of tighten up a little bit more. And I think they're very pleased with that, San Diego FC, because that's one of the areas of focus is that they just kept giving up points in the last 20, 15 minutes, and they really haven't done that. It's either they lose outright like they did in Portland, and there's just that's a wash. But they've been able to maintain and not only maintain without with the victory, but they are able to maintain clean sheets. Like the last clean sheet was against LAFC. Like that was still a good team victory. But now the key is to bundle up the momentum, bottle it up, and then go again. This was a short turnaround week, 3 games in 7 days. And now you have a whole week to prepare for Galaxy. And now it's going to be a matter of honing in on everything that they've been doing well, because the new integrations, Pirani, Ashuri, have come in and really understood and understood the plot of what this team is, and really kind of added an extra dimension. And they are liking playing with each other. Pirani and Ashuri, they're enjoying their time there. And I think on the other side too, hey, Dreyer, there's a couple of chances that you should have at least put a little bit, put Kalar a little bit more in peril of, and it just didn't happen. That's one of the things where I'm just like, okay, you're getting the help. They're going to get some looks on the other side. Now it's time for you to step up, especially if you're going to have a Marcus Invarson not filling in that role and being that assist master and just opening up spaces in that final third.
Yeah, absolutely. But they didn't need Dreyer's goal tonight to win. They very well may need it on Saturday against Galaxy. And you look forward, and this is something that Alex talked about on the Thursday Chromaniacs episode as well. But, now you can look back in the rearview mirror and go, you had 3 MLS matches in 8 days coming off of Leagues Cup, which we're not very well equipped to handle. And I think if you came into last Saturday's game, gentlemen, and asked any of the 3 of us, would you accept 6 points out of 9 over the next 3 matches? I think we would have all signed the contract. And then if you went to the second page of the contract and it said, addendum, you get to pick which 6 points you get. I think this is the way I would have played it out. Get 3 in LA if I have to pick one of the 2 road games to win, because we need to win at home. So we need to get that win over Colorado Rapids at home. And if I'm going to pick one of the 2 away games to win, of course it's going to be at LAFC, because the cinema, the drama, the excitement, all of it, that's got sizzle. Drop a game in Portland in the middle of the week, everyone will forget about it by Saturday night. And that is the case now with this win. So I really do feel like the week went quite well for SDFC. But Alex, to reiterate your point from Thursday, now they have an entire week to rest, recuperate, rehab injuries, train for Galaxy, take on Galaxy next Saturday. And then they have a week after that to rest, recuperate, and head to Florida to take on Orlando City the Saturday following. So after so many compressed results, which in May led to a red card parade and a spiral of losses, here instead, there was only 1 red card. It was Dreyer. We did lose the game on Wednesday, but now the team feels on so much stronger footing heading into the next 2-3 weeks.
And this is a good question for Tony. I'm guessing that for these players, like, this is a week they've been looking forward to for a while, because you don't have a midweek game. You have plenty of time to recover, train, like have full trainings instead of these short ones. I'm pretty sure they do short trainings when they have to play midweek. So I'm guessing this is something they've been looking forward to for a while, huh?
Yeah, no, they haven't. I'm going to training last time. Actually, Mikey's been pushing this team. And I let you guys know that Mikey was talking to the team before their warm-ups in training and just kind of circling everybody up and just laying the plan out. This is what we've been doing well. This is what we need to do better. And this is what we need to keep doing in order to keep our playoff hopes alive. And all the ingredients are here. It's just a matter of consistency. And that's essentially what this team is going to be facing moving forward, is a chance to regroup, a chance to come together, a chance to look at some game film and really become that San Diego FC team that Tyler Heaps has been hoping, Mikey has been hoping is here. And yeah, that recovery is going to be good. But I'll tell you, they've been getting pushed at training. Even last time, this last Friday, I was there. We were all kind of standing around, like, all the media was just like, all right, they're usually done by now. And even the comms people were like, yeah, they're still out there though. Like, they're getting pushed. And in this heat out in El Cajon, it was 101 during training out there. So this team is definitely going to need that break. And it's just that exhale, take a day off.
Well, let's keep our show rolling here, guys, as we get close to 11 p.m. On the West Coast on a Saturday night, and get to post-match sound which Tony Sanchez has compiled from Snapdragon Stadium. El Senor, what do you have?
I have Mikey Varas and followed by Elias Ashuri and Gabriel Pirani. So we got Mikey Varas right here.
We'll start with questions in English, followed by questions in Spanish. We'll start from right here with Tony.
Thank you for your time, Mikey. Congratulations on the victory. What about today's match? Are you pleased as a head coach that some of the things that you were talking about that were applied tonight?
Yeah, I think it's just a great team win, and it starts from a foundation of everybody committed to running hard, to tackling, to pressing, to making big recovery runs because you play against a very good team, to defending low like Warriors, and all of that is the foundation. And when we do that with all the guys committed to it, and we do it at a high level, then the football comes from there, because that's a very, very good Colorado team that we just played against.
And then in terms of being able to continue this momentum, something that you also have been talking about, how are you going to look forward to do that as you head into a rivalry game against
Yeah, we have to keep pushing. You know, this is something that we'll enjoy for tonight, because I've said before, you can never take for granted points at the first team level. But then tomorrow, all of us are waking up ready to keep pushing, because we're on a mission, and we got to be relentless about it.
Hi, Mikey. Congrats on the win tonight. You got goals from Ilias and Gabriel. What does it mean to get that kind of media production from two summer editions?
Yeah, it's massive. I think it's a huge testament to who they are as players, just very intelligent guys. So to pick up on concepts very quickly. And then also the way that they pressed and defended, I think they show that mentality. And I think they're just two great signings, and there's still more to come from both of them.
Mikey Varas wants to keep pushing, wants to keep the pressure up for San Diego FC. But Alex, I do appreciate that he is committed to the bit. It almost makes me think he listened to Thursday's show, because he dropped a very good Colorado team twice in his commentary. Come on.
We didn't even go there. We were like, yeah. After seeing them once, yeah, like, okay, very good Colorado team, but not we weren't gonna throw that line this time. But oh my goodness,
Very good. I mean,
committed to the bit. I love it. I love it.
He was.
and
That's
look,
outstanding.
and I will say about this good Colorado team. They did have 21 touches in the opposition's box. They outshot San Diego FC 9-6. And I know we're talking a lot about the offense, but the defense was spectacular. And like Tony mentioned, CJ Dos Santos with another clean sheet. That back line held up, and yeah, they didn't really give them like big chances, like to really score, to really put any, like, have a good threat on goal. No, they really knew how to either clear the ball out, block a shot, just get in the way of it. And yeah, I think Bombino had a piece of that, Dua, Murphy, but Verhoeven, like, I think everybody was in fireman mode, just in case Navajo or any of those players were going to come in through that into the penalty area and try to get a shot off. So really, it's been looking good. I think the defensive side has been looking a lot better than what we saw before in the first half.
I mean, Rafa Navarro is a player that can beat you in any game. I thought Paxton Aronson had a couple of moments over the course of the game, a couple of progressive carries that led to opportunities. But the young man they started at left wing, Manungu, they had to sub him out at halftime because he was a complete non-factor. SDFC defense basically throttled that aspect of Rapid's attack. So really well done. Tony, your thoughts on what you heard before we switch to our next player?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost to say like, hey, kudos to you, Mikey. What we've been hearing the last post matches is correct and accurate, because he's been telling us exactly what this team's been needing to work, and he's coming in and having the results. And I think that's why I wanted to word it that way. Like, as a coach, how proud of you that they're listening to you and that they're executing what you're asking them to do. And then it's that momentum being bottled up, and how do you carry it over? Sorry, all the restrooms are closed here. I had to go up
Oh,
to
that well.
press box. But hey, it's okay. No, it's like altitude. This weather, I'll tell you right now. But but
Yeah,
a
it's
very
muggy
good
today,
Colorado-
bro.
A very good Colorado team. I heard you guys say that for
Very good. Twice he said it, Tony. Come on.
He has to listen.
Like, just, I wanted him just to wink to the camera when he was done. Like, I'm very good. I said it. Okay, give me my brownie. I mean, like, that was amazing. But yeah, good stuff from Mikey Vardas. Good stuff from San Diego FC all the way through. I believe you said Ashuri also made his way to the podium, Tony. Let's hear it.
Thank you for your time, Elias. Congratulations on your goal. Can you just take me through that moment and being able to post that ball out and finish it?
Thank you first. Yeah, it was a good action. Yeppe gave me the ball in the behind it, and I believe it. I fight for the first. I didn't win it, and at the end, it's a gift. So I'm happy to score my first goal and to help the team. I think scoring the important moment of the game, and that's the most important.
And how have you been growing within the system and just learning the system and how it adapts to your play style and vice versa?
I think it's clear for me since I arrived. I feel good. I felt that I have understand because the system is a bit similar from what I was used to before. So for me, it's clear, and I just need to build up. Today was my first start after 2 times coming from the bench. So today I played 60 minutes. I don't remember the last time I played 60 minutes. So yeah, I'm really happy to start my first game, and especially at home.
I think he's going to have a lot of memories of playing 60 and then 75 and then 90 minutes coming up here, Tony. Ashuri has been tremendous so far. I think you just generally have to say he's been everything that they've asked him to be.
Yeah, no, he's done everything that you would expect for a player to come in, and even more, just because this style does require you to align with it, and it's not necessarily balancing your style with the way that the team plays. It's more of a alignment in that sense, and Ashuri definitely fits the bill, and he's comfortable, and he's a player that definitely just also knows how to put his head down and just be part of the system, and within that, he's able to get spaces, and again, like he's bouncing off of somebody else who's new and kind of trying to figure it out as well with Pirani. And, he's somebody who is such an intelligent and elegant player. Like, there's a regality to the way that Ashuri plays and the way he gives you that option of, you don't know if he's going to do a quick skill and then move forward or quick skill and then pass back. But those are options that he can definitely take. And I think he's just coming into his own and really learning the league. Later on, he was asked, hey, like, what do you think of the level of MLS and other Super League you were in? And he's like, well, over there's like 4 to 5 top players in every team. So I think I'll be fine here, essentially. A cheeky answer for that one as well.
Oh, man. And it was funny. Yeah, he mentioned it that, yeah, he was really trying to fight for that first goal when he was in the box and he got like shoved out of the way. And I was like, man, shouldn't that be a penalty right there? And it was good. It was good that he was able to come back and get that goal for himself. But man, yeah, I didn't know you can do that. Yeah, you could just shove someone out of the way and just like, oh yeah, it's not a penalty.
I'll put just a little bit of a ribbon on Ashuri and Mikey. There was a moment, and actually Chiva asked, he asked Mikey, hey, like, there was a moment where Pellegrino was going to come on, but he wasn't able to, and you guys were playing with 10 men. Mikey just was very honest and said, I honestly didn't talk to Elias about the MLS rule that he needs to hurry it up or else it's going to be a penalty and then the player has to stay off the field. Mike was like, that's on me. I didn't tell him. I just, just my bad. But it ended up working out.
Just because you brought it up, I do think I don't know. I think there's a world where that play is called a penalty. It's possible, but I'll go back to something I've said on previous post-match shows. If that was a penalty against you, how would you feel about it? If that was Murphy delivering the shoulder and a penalty being called, how would you feel about it? Would you feel hard done? I think you'd feel a little bit hard done. I think you would. That was a physical but determined defensive play, and I think it was a dispossession. If it was originally and immediately called a penalty, there's nothing on film that would have taken it away. That's the thing I'll say. If immediately the point was at the spot, VAR could not have changed that call. But similarly, when there was no call, I think there was nothing there for VAR to change the call to a penalty.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, like I said, I'm glad like it just all worked out for him. He was able to get the goal at home. That's pretty much the moment everybody's been waiting for, seeing their left winger score. Their newest designated player. So yeah, it's still a good moment that he was able to bring to the SanDiego.FC fans.
Tony, let's wrap up post-match sound with our Brazilian friend.
Yeah, Gabi Pradani, who understands English, speaks a little bit, but still feels more comfortable responding in Spanish. So we'll hear that here from Gabi Pradani, who was named man of the match.
Another goal now here at home. Could you just take me through that goal and what did you see in that moment to take that space as Marcus Barson gives you the assist on that one?
Felicitaciones por el gol. ¿Nos puedes repasar desde tu punto de vista el gol, recibir la asistencia de Marcos Inversen?
Sí, muy contento al final por el gol, más contento por la victoria. Yo creo que en ese momento yo ahí atravesé la cancha, tenía mucho espacio y nomás aproveché ese espacio que teníamos. Marcos me ha dado un buen pase y al final salió el gol. Lo más importante, como hablo siempre, son los 3 puntos.
Yeah, I'm very happy for the goal, even happy for the win. In the moment I was passing through the pitch and Marcus found me, so I think receiving that pass was very important and we were able to convert that goal. So I think what's most important is the win.
And then what can you tell me about playing next to Elias Achuri, as he himself is another new player to this team, and what he brings to the dynamic that you are also to bring?
¿Qué puedes decir sobre jugar con Elias Achuri, que también es un nuevo integrante del equipo, y desde tu punto de vista, qué es lo que aporta al equipo?
Yo creo que combinamos muy bien jugando juntos ahí. Le gusta atacar el espacio, le gusta tener la pelota al pie, le doy espacio para 1 contra 1 igual. Creo que vamos agarrando confianza en los momentos que jugamos juntos y entendiendo más uno a otro. En la fácil comunicación, porque habla portugués, habla español, entonces nomás nos conectamos bien, están apenas empezando a jugar juntos. Pero sí, nos ayuda mucho, nos da mucha agresividad ahí, entonces hay que aprovecharlo bien.
Yeah, I think we can balance together well. He likes his play style. He likes to take the ball. He likes to go on one-on-ones. He likes to take advantage of space. So it's interesting for me. We get to build chemistry. We both speak Spanish and Portuguese, so that helps out. And then just playing together, we're building that confidence. So I think we're building a good chemistry.
I like it. I mean, it's one of those things that is so unique. It's not unique to soccer, but like in baseball, it doesn't matter if Rengifo shows up and he can speak English or not. It's a matter of can he swing the bat. You know what I'm saying? However, out on the pitch, you can communicate with your eyes. You can communicate with a point or a shoulder, dip or something like that. But if you've got language on your side, it's going to help so much more. So just hearing that from Pirani, hey, Achuri speaks Portuguese, he speaks Spanish, which figures because he's Tunisian, so he's North Africa, so he's right there, around the Mediterranean Sea. He's probably got all of those languages on lock. But to be able to develop develop that chemistry through the language of football, so important for these guys going forward.
Yeah, so Achuri is actually a Frenchman. He plays for the Tunisian national team, but he's a Frenchman. He speaks French mostly, and then he's been to clubs like in Portuguese, and that's Portugal, and that's how he picked up the Portuguese. But it seems like that communication factor is huge because you have that group of Danes that also loves speaking to each other and have really good communication, and it's something you don't really realize when you're kind of like you're playing soccer, you should know this like easily, but the communication styles are probably just a little different. And with Pirani, I think it just seems like like you said, he's getting much more confident and just comfortable like within like the system and the team, and he's also I feel like he's just so much happier being here than he was with like DC United. Like he's very much like a promotional figure. He likes to promote the match day and like on social media, and he has his own videos and which are pretty great. So it kind of seems like he loves the new team here with San Diego.
No, he's enjoying it. Future San Diego soccer, Gabriel Pirani is definitely enjoying his time here at San Diego FC and just kind of coming into it. And it's good that he has somebody, a companion, to kind of go along with him and then help him out. And him and Soma are actually very tight as well.
Well, gentlemen, a great win for San Diego FC tonight, 3-0 over Colorado Rapids. As mentioned, moving the team within a point of a playoff position, moving the club past Galaxy, and now it's Chucky FC week. This is it. Now we can officially close this chapter. A very good Colorado team. You got 3 points against a very good Rapids team. You got 3 out of 6 this year. Okay, cool. Now it's Galaxy. Now it's everything. It's everything. It's everything. Next week, it's everything. It's passion. It's history. It is todo. Es todo. Es todo. So we're going to get ready for it. We'll be back Thursday with a full preview episode with Training Ground Sound, with everything else, getting ready for San Diego FC and LA Galaxy. I certainly thought I was going to be at the match today, guys. It turns out sometimes being a teen dad, you just, certain things come up, like 9-hour water polo tournaments that you thought might be an hour and a half. Or 2 hours or something, and it winds up being 9 hours. These are just things that happen along the way. But I hope to be up there with my Frontera ST brethren on Saturday night next week, and then getting ready for an incredible post-match show with you fellas after a big SDFC win. Tony, as we head out the door, why don't you let everyone know how they can get all the rest of the stuff you curated this evening?
Yeah, you can find everything that we do over on our website, our social media platforms, anywhere you can find SanDiego.Futbol, everything soccer in San Diego, including a new write-up by Abe about San Diego Wave 4-2 victory less than 24 hours ago. Here, that's going to be SanDiego.Futbol. Alex.
Yeah, that was a great victory, by the way. I really enjoyed that one. And for me, everything, all the recaps and previews at ChromaticFC.com, and you can follow me on ChromaticFC SD. I hope to get some writing done this weekend. I don't know how I'm going to feel later. Which, PSA, if there's a sketchy burrito place, just skip it. Just skip the sketchy burrito place. Yeah. What about you, Craig?
Well, if you want to hear the thoughts I had walking out of Snapdragon Stadium last night, you can find it on Instagram at 619 Sports and Life. The Holy Trinity. What about the Holy Quadrinity? When Trinity gets 4 points, is it a quadrinity instead of a trinity? That was the question that I asked about that one. We did not have a Padres Hot Tub post-game show tonight, but we could have after a 7-5 win over Minnesota because I was locked in on this and SDFC. But we'll be back with our regular weekly full show tomorrow evening. You can be a supporter if you're a Padres fan at patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub of everything myself, Chris Reed, and Rafi Cantor do together. But that's it for this show. Thank you so much for being here. Everyone who's joined us live, if you can hit that thumbs up button on YouTube on the way out, I deeply appreciated. Everybody who's listening later on podcast, if you can offer us a 5-star rating or a kind written review, all those things will help get some more people to our next show on Thursday. Until then, for Tony Sanchez, live from Snapdragon Stadium, and Alex Pena, I'm Craig Elston. Final score tonight, 3-0. SDFC takes down the very good Colorado Rapids. And until next time, so long for the Chromaniacs, and vamos, SDFC.